Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to the 175th episode of Bengals On The Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry, continuing our series, getting familiar with every new player the Bengals added through the draft process. We did the draft picks, so if you're looking for those, you want to go back a little bit and view the 6 players the Bengals drafted. The undrafted players, though, we started with the 2 offensive linemen, Seth McLaughlin, Caleb Etienne. And yeah, just watching one game, that is the process that we're doing here. It's you got to have a theme and how you're doing it. We could watch 3 games, but I encourage you to go watch the other games on your own and seek them out on YouTube and other sources that you may find them. But we're just trying to watch one game to encapsulate what that player is, what he offers, and what he could be in the NFL. Look, we're talking about undrafted guys, right? The chances of them hitting and becoming a starter, becoming an impact player are already pretty slim. We're trying to see, can they make the roster? And is there a glimmer of hope that maybe that guy was undervalued in the draft process? Many Ohio State fans will say Seth McLaughlin was undervalued. He should have been drafted if he was healthy, and he probably would have been. It was a weak center class. There was maybe only 2 guys worth drafting, so McLaughlin probably would have been drafted if he was healthy. And had he have tested and tested really well, I didn't see any reason on tape to believe he wouldn't have tested at least average, maybe above average. So you take that and you say, yeah, there's an undervalued guy. Maybe there's a chance that he sticks in the NFL. I think we got a chance for another one here with Howard Cross from Notre Dame. Interestingly enough, that Al Golden only got 1 player through this process. We did so many mock drafts where we were giving them Notre Dame players, right? Whether it was Xavier Watts or Jack Kaiser and Ben Morrison at corner, there was plenty of players to choose from if Al Golden wanted. He didn't take any of them, especially when Watts went much later than expected. And they passed on him multiple times. So getting Howard Cross, who, if we said at this defensive tackle room, we talked about this before, right before the draft, after they signed TJ Slayton and BJ Hill, we said, well, if they're not taking one in the first 2 rounds, which the Bengals were interested in that, especially if Walter Nolan would have been there, I'm not sure they're going to find a guy that's a clear upgrade from Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson in this draft. And the Bengals ended up agreeing with that thought process. And when we walked away from the draft, we still said, well, you still don't have that athleticism. You still don't have that pass rush inside. That was not addressed. Signing Howard Cross, I think, represents that attempt to fix that position and add a little bit more pass rush juice. And now if you just go look at his base stats, you see 2, 3, 4 sacks this past year. And you may say, is that really the pass rusher, the undrafted guy that's going to fix it? Well, at 6'1", 285 pounds, I do think we see the athletic traits when we're going to watch this tape here. And then you look at his PFF grading. His pass rush grade puts him in the 90th percentile amongst all defensive tackles we've graded. And his true pass set grade puts him in the 92nd percentile. So he had pass rush productivity. And if you go back to 2023, I think he had 39 pressures and 4 sacks, according to PFF, which is really good production, just under a 90 grade overall in 2023. 2024, he's about a 71 grade for PFF. So we're watching a 2024 tape, but we're watching a game where he racked up 2 sacks and I think it was 4 or 5 pressures. I don't remember now, but let's roll the tape of Howard Cross against Stanford from 2024. Notre Dame versus Stanford, number 56 here, Howard Cross the third. Very old school name, right? Instantly, I'm like, that sounds like a guy from the 70s or 80s. Howard Cross. I might be mixing him up with a former player anyways. But so right away, we see Cross. He's got to read the run, right? And you see that the way you approach your first couple steps here. Are you more horizontal, as you see the whole defensive line is? And as a reading run, he's got to peek up, and then he's going to throw this guy down to the side and attack the quarterback, which he does a really good job of. Very clean. That looks like a clean win to me. It allows the rest of the defense to get there. It's fun watching Notre Dame defense also now that we have Al Golden, so it's nice to come back and get to these guys. But I really like the way he comes off the ball here. You forget he's 6'1", 285. He doesn't play small. I think he plays with a lot of strength and length. Right there, nice initial pop, separation, eyes on the ball, and then discard the blocker. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Now, the question, and we'll touch on it multiple times here, is can an undrafted guy actually make an impact? Right? Undrafted defensive tackle, hell, for rookie defensive tackles that are drafted are hard to make an impact. But watch 56 here. Same spot he was at. So the left side here, in between just over the shoulder of the guard, in between the center. And he's going to cut all the way across, right? Watch the spin move here and how he stays on his feet. So I just like the athleticism. Let's watch it again. I won't pause it this time. As he comes across here, bumps into the other guy, stays on his feet, almost tips the ball. Great ball awareness, knowing what the play is at, when the quarterback's going to throw the ball. Spatial awareness. That's what I wanted to say. Just understanding everything around you. Can you see the matrix? So the run goes the other way, but I want you to watch across here. He's still going to win and seal his side of the play. So he's going to be on the right side this time, 56. And he's going to get outside there. You see multiple Stanford linemen falling as he's getting there. If you remember from the side angle here, he resets up on the outside. I would have liked to seen if the run. That's one of the things we're going to have a question when you're 285. Can you hold up against the run at the point of attack, which is much different. Here he is at nose, so he's got a double team there. Everyone else gets in. That's a failure from the rest of his line to not corral that quarterback. Yeah, they did not at all. Not just defensive line, linebackers as well, obviously. Yep, follow the yellow arrow if you forget where he's at. Again, he's reading run the entire way there, as it is a run. I think we got some jet action coming around the outside. But that's some power, right? Initial pop and power plays really low, gets under the center. And I don't know why two guys ended up attacking him, but I think the other defensive tackle at 44 does not look like a D tackle, but he ran directly into that center as well. Yeah, he's an edge player for sure. He must have looped inside. Again, we're booting away from cross, so I'm going to skip and keep it moving. Let's look for the impact plays here. We got a 20-minute film, and if I stop a few times, that'll get us right to about a 30-minute episode is what we're looking for. So he's going to hold his ground here, and then as the double team comes, he's going to try and looks like slip the initial blocker with an arm over. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so he's dropping to the knee to absorb this double team, and now he's going to try and work his way back inside and get up back through. I think he does a good job there. The ball's not coming that direction, but we'll take that. Now let's see if he can hold up here. He's right at the point, potentially. Oh, that quarterback kept it. The Notre Dame defense holds up. I can't see what happens across, though. We're going to have to pay attention to that because I started looking at the ball, but Cross ended up in the end zone on his back a little bit. So he's right over the center. Read option, so I think he's going to go with it's not, it's just the quarterback power. And he kind of dives to the left with this double team. And yeah, he gives up the space completely. But him diving to the left may have opened up. It may have been part of the defense because everyone's going that way. It was really 90, it looks like, that caused the his guy next to him. 30. Good job. Could have got cut, hit at the thigh pad, still stays on his feet, and gets quarterback slowed down just enough for the second level to fill and make that tackle. We are 3rd down and 1 from the 1-yard line. Cross right at the nose again. Oh, we may have another stop. May get a 4th down play here. Let's watch Cross in the middle, see if he handled this center. He goes inside this or to the outside this time to the guard, play side. Everything collapses there. And it's everyone else making the play. Cross does get back if you want to keep your eye on Cross. He goes from a knee. I don't know if you watch him. Try and focus on the middle. I'll see if I can pause it at the right time. So he gets down to a knee there as all the bodies are just piling in. And as he pops back up, his eyes are on the ball carrier. Watch him come over and help finish. Nice hit there to keep the quarterback from regaining any type of footing. So again, I think we've got a couple displays of really good ball awareness on that first drive. Understanding what's happening around him, where the play is going. It's a key feature. You need that. Let's see, here's we got the run going to the outside. Cross looks like he gives up the ground in order to keep his eyes on the ball carrier. He knows the play's going that way. It's interesting. Even though his head is below everyone, he's working that way. He can tell which way the ball's going based on the blocking. And he fights his way through and over. Doesn't get involved with the play. But interesting that, again, I think his understanding of what's going on around him, even without great vision there, being 6'1" and 3/8. It's almost 6'1.5". It's not like he's incredibly short, but he's shorter than most of the guys he's trying to get through. He's at nose a lot. I wonder if that's his strength, right? Sure, he plays with good leverage and pop, but it is really hard to have high impact plays when you're at the nose spot. You have a high impact on your defense, but you're not going to show up on the stat sheet a ton when you're so close inside. There you go. Good penetration off the get off. Good get off. Get upfield. The action, the fake is going that way. So Cross right there. Just going to win upfield. The center can't get over in time. And they fake like they're pitching the ball that way. He's got to go and respect it, of course. The rest of the defense has to flow the opposite way, and they get the tackle for a loss. But good get off from Cross. I think that's the first time we've seen that. I wouldn't, maybe that's not completely fair, but that was a very good get off. He's had a couple others that where he gets off very nicely and low, good power. Again, he's getting inside to that center, and we got a big run going, cutting off of him. So we'll see if he's in the middle there right here. I just want to make sure we're on the same page now that the camera has flipped over. He's going to end up going this way, and the running back's going to see his head on that side and cut back against him. So I will let it play now and see if you can pick up what I'm saying here, how his head ends up on that side. The guard's peeling up now to get number 4 at linebacker, and the running back's just following that. So he's just reading that, and whichever way Cross was going to go, the running back was going to cut off of it anyways. More than likely that linebacker, but you can see they're playing in tandem. That nose tackle and linebacker very often working in conjunction. Cross is going to go to our right here. I want to see his get off again. Even though the run is going opposite way. Again, he's off that quickly. That center is struggling to keep hands on him. Is that the center 69? I think that was actually the guard. Again, his get off really good there. You can see he's causing chaos with that right in the middle. So he's the first guy getting upfield. Everyone's moving at this point, but he's getting upfield. He's already even setting up a move. He's going to dive between the two of them and cause a lot of chaos. That center, I think 55 is the center, is really struggling with the quickness of Cross. So we got Cross right there, right over. No, 55 is the guard. Okay, so 69 is the center, just so we can stay consistent. And the guard is 55. So it's 55. It's the guard that's struggling with Cross the most. And he dives inside, you can see. And he's wrapping up. I mean, he's tying up multiple Stanford linemen. That's 2 linemen there, really fighting for their lives. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is able, the rest of the Notre Dame defense, you can tie up 2 guys. You've done your job, especially with him playing as much nose tackle as he is. Really like his get off, his agility so far, his ball awareness. And he's got good pop, good power in his hands for a smaller guy. All right, this one's going to be our first sack of the game, where he has 2. I think he ends up with 4 pressures and 2 sacks total. So let's watch Cross directly over the right guard here. He's going to attack the center more. And then now as he's, okay, it's not a run, eyes in the backfield, quarterback is throwing this ball. Let me try and fight through this if I can. He's going to attack the open gap here. The rest of the team is starting to collapse on the quarterback. Quarterback breaks through the edge guy, and Cross again just uses his awareness, his eyes, his vision, and he's working towards the play the entire way. Watch it again as when he realizes, okay, I got a pass and I got a chance here. He's just working towards the play, working towards where the quarterback is likely to escape and making the play. So I think if I was noting here, normally during the season, the draft season, I'm noting every play, whether that be, okay, one with power, one with hands, one with a get off, one with quickness, good balance, whatever it may be. However that play happened, whether it's positive or negative. And I think consistently now we've got vision, understanding of what's going on around him, good get off, and a couple of times now we've seen good pop in his hand. So these are good qualities to have. Again, we got a screen. He's going to make this tackle right after a sack, too. So if you give up 5 yards, that's not a big deal. We're going to end up in a 3rd and 10 situation. But watch Cross right in the middle there. Watch how quickly he recognizes screen. He starts flowing with the offensive lineman right away. So he knows right there. Eyes into the backfield, eyes at the quarterback. Now his eyes are at the running back or receiver, whoever's getting it here. And he's flowing with the play, gets off of his blocker, and makes the tackle. I'm going to play that full speed. Watch Cross's eyes. Watch him peeking every time. Okay, where's it going? What? I see it. Okay, there's the target. Let me get in position. Make the tackle. Again, I would chalk that up to understanding and awareness. Now, he's a 6th-year player. He'll be 24 as a rookie. You better be aware at this point, and he is. So don't want to knock it too hard there. So here's a point of attack, a situation again. He's the D tackle on the right side here. He's trying to communicate with his end. I'm not sure what it is, but he's laid off the snap because of it. And 55 gets to him, has great positioning on him. Cross takes the outside. Your unblocked end is on the outside. At this point, you have left a huge hole in the middle here. You even look the outs. I mean, they've got the pitch option to 10 here. And so that's causing this guy to get across. We're getting this guy coming across. Everyone's getting to the outside. So it's not so much Cross and this other end's fault here that there's such a big gap. I mean, this run should go for a big gain. But being laid off the snap, trying to communicate is not what you want to see. Good tackle by the unblocked guy. But see, he's still arguing with 30. So he's talking about it before the play and then watch him afterwards here. And he's talking right there like, what happened, dude? It got you to a 4th down situation, though. I think that just said 4th and 5. This may be 3rd down. Sometimes we get the wrong play card there. Oh, he tried to cut block, and we get a sack. So here's the 2nd sack for Howard Cross. This was supposed to be a quick pass. Let's watch it again here, see what was exactly supposed to happen here. There's 2 guys, 3 guys cut blocked here. So I'm not sure what Stanford saw on that, but we're going to see, a cut block when we'll watch the 3 linemen cut. We'll watch the 3 defenders, how they each react to it. And you're going to see what Cross did really well. Okay. Ideally, because both defensive tackles do this, we'll show it. Ideally, use your hands to protect yourself. You already see Cross's hands there, and I think the other one is down on the guy's back as well. You get your hands out, you protect yourself so he can't take your legs out and drop you down. Let's watch the other example here. So there's a little more space, so it's happening a little bit later. And he makes contact with the defender's hip and is unable to get him down either. So this is a complete miss by the three. Oh, here's the fourth guy cut blocking. He's going for the hip as well. So the end guys did not use their hands. They just used their athleticism and strength. But you can see the defensive tackles using their hands completely. Cross is already winning. So we're going to go back to it. But Cross discarded that guy very quickly, stayed on his feet, and had a beeline to the quarterback, which we will go back and see here. Watch, focus now just on Cross if you can. Defensive tackle. I mean, that's a great job. Not only did he use his hands, I'll see if I can get this right. Not only did he use his hands, watch him remove his own leg out of the way. There it is. You see the one leg kicked completely behind him. And as lesser defenders may fall right on their face here, you and I would, he gets that foot right back down in position, and he is just straight up running at that quarterback. I'll play at full speed without me messing with it, and you'll see what I'm saying. Hands, athleticism, lower half, finish the play. I think he'll be a menace in the preseason against some bad offensive linemen, no doubt about it. They cannot contain this quarterback. Well, they do have a couple sacks, but overall, this guy's getting to the outside way too much. 99 flashed here, the other defensive tackle. 27 is tripping. You literally tripping. And then watch him at the end here. Oh. Oh. It's fun to laugh at elite athletes. It's getting doubled. Discards both guys. He's willing to give up some ground in order to beat guys with athleticism and horizontal agility, side to side agility. You see Cross ends up all the way on the inside here, eyes on the quarterback, tries to flow with the play. I don't know that I want him at the point of attack too often, but I do think he can hold his own. I just don't want him at nose, I think, in the NFL. It's a much different game. It's hard to be an effective nose at 285. Man, they're really coming after the quarterback there. Looks like a blitz coming from the outside edge. I want to see that again. Was that Watts? Yeah, Watts is walking down in the box from the left side here. Oh, yeah, that quarterback's out of there right away. Missed tackle from him, but the rest of the defense helping make a play. Doing their jobs. 21-7 now. Notre Dame up on Stanford. Good run defense play by Howard Cross here. Good job locking these guys out, locking his linemen out, and keeping his eyes on the ball. 56 there to our right side, just over the right guard, inside of him. Good contact, low, eyes still inside, keeping his vision the entire time. He really does a good job keeping his vision. There he is, stacking his initial and then locking him out here. Eyes on the ball carrier. Work the guy, work the lineman towards the hole to squeeze that hole, make it as tight as possible. Force the running back to cut backwards, discard your lineman, and then attempt to make a tackle there. That's a very good job by Howard Cross against the run. This is why he may be a good 3-tech. Maybe a good, just maybe not at nose where he's got to take on these double teams, even though he looks like he can do it at times. Like, that's a really good play if you're going to leave him one-on-one. A quick slant here. Cross is going to have to deal with the two linemen on the inside here as Notre Dame's rushing 4. And he's more of the nose this time. Quarterback's trying to run this power. Cross gets involved in this tackle. I'm not sure what he did here. I think the lineman thinks he's going to be gone. See, now this is more 3-techs. When I talk about 3-tech, when you're at the 0, you're right over here. When you're at the 1, When you're outside the shoulder here, you're at the 3 or the 4. I mean, this is where Geno Atkins lived. This is where the penetrators and the athletes live. And I think that's where Cross will look his best. And I'm going to look up his snap breakdown after this film and see. It may have been where he played more in 2023, which is why he had more production. He doesn't win on that outside play, but it's funny, man. He knows that he knows where the quarterback's going with this. Right here, he realizes, all right, let me get back in. And he closes that gap that the quarterback thought he was going to get through. And then still works his way back and helps make the tackle. Very heady player, no doubt about it. All right, go outside. Quarterback still has the ball. I cannot tell what happened. Did Watts get this pick? I remember seeing this one on highlights, I believe. Here's Cross as he worked his way here and then came around the outside. Let's see what happened here, why he stopped the quarterback kind of. Oh, okay, so the lineman got out there, and then he thought the quarterback threw it. Oh, we don't get a good angle. We got a flag, but Watts didn't make that pick. Cross right at the nose again, going to kick out just a bit. And again, I think this is why I think he's more of a 3-tech, more of an under tackle. He's going to get on. So he's at the nose now. Watch him kick out. Okay. So this is still considered nose. You're still lined up in the A gap here. A gaps being these gaps. So if you're still in the A gap, you're still considered a nose. Once you get out to B, that's when we are talking about more of a 3-tech, under tackle type guy. So watch him come so let me go back here. As the left guard, 76, is going to have to reach block, which means get his head out in front like that. Does a good job. 76, really good job getting out there. Cross is going to take that. How you defeat that sometimes is getting underneath and applying pressure and lifting the guy up and penetrating with 76, which is what he does. 76 gained no positive ground there. Cross does a really good job of making sure there's no advancement of the line of scrimmage. Playing low, playing with leverage. Deep ball. It's open. It's missed. Let's watch Cross here against the right guard, 55. No, he goes against tackle. Tries to work his way back inside. The length there. Sometimes for a defensive tackle, when they go up against these offensive tackles, that happens a couple times a game. You're going against a better athlete that is longer than you are almost every time. That's why when you see Aaron Donald or Chris Jones do it, you're like, ooh, those are special players. Okay, we got a penetration going backside. Looks like they may have let him go. Let's see there. Was he guessing? Was there someone else supposed to fill on the right side? All right, cross to the right, over 55 to the inside, shaded inside here. Oh, yeah, he's going to completely go inside. And they let him go because the run's going that way. You got offensive lineman down 15 yards downfield, blocking in space. That looks like a potential rock, paper, scissors situation. Notre Dame called rock. Stanford had paper. Cross has to deal with the two players this time, as he's more at the nose again. Center and the right guard. I mean, there's multiple guys dealing with two here because they kept the tight end in the block. 86, I see him now. Multiple double teams for Stanford on the offensive line. 21-7 game. Cross again. Takes the outside loop. Has to contain. He does a good job doing that. Watch him here over 55 at right guard. And as 44 is going to go in, Cross has to go outside, but he can't over pursue and he has to. So, like, if he ends up going in here and missing and the quarterback runs this way, or if he doesn't get out here, so if he gets out here too far, quarterback's going to go that way, is what I'm trying to say. If he can't get out here fast enough, quarterback's going to escape towards the outside. So you've got to play your position while applying this pressure on the QB, and he does a good job of staying upfield and really cutting that off for the quarterback to make a awkward and haphazard throw away. That might have been the fourth pressure then. Maybe that's pressure number 3. He may have one more coming. Trying to remember how many we had. Oh my, what a play. We got the pitch, the read option, and Notre Dame seems to have batted it into the air and recovered it. I don't think Cross does much here other than playing backside. He peeks back there like something's happening. Nothing's happening. It's funny. 40 tips it and catches it. Way to go. Way to go, 40. Great job. That might stop them from doing the read option a little bit there. We're 28-7. Comfortable lead now for Notre Dame. Cross has 2 blockers here at the point of attack. Let's see how he handles it. They don't get much. Stanford doesn't get much. Let's see how much of that was Cross. He's going to have 69 and 55. Working on both guys. 55 is going to be able to release and go get number 4 here, but Cross has maintained his position on the play side, right? And flowing with the play here, stringing it out. A lot of that is because of him then. Good job taking on the double team, staying in position, not losing ground, not getting forced inside. Because you get forced inside and then 55 climbs up and gets that linebacker, there'll be a gap there. So Cross does a good job there. No one's got outside contain here on the quarterback. Let's see what happened. Was Cross supposed to get out there? He's got the center and right guard on him on this one. No, the end just went for it, which sometimes you have to. If you feel like you can win, go get them. It's 35-7 also. So like, what are we worried about? This is your chance to go add some numbers to the stat sheet. Is that Cross eating dirt there? It might be. Let's watch him. Right between the left guard and the center. Play's going to go to our right, and he's going to dive in front of that center completely. Oh, he just gets tripped up. Trash. There's trash in the path, and he gets tangled. Back at nose. To take on the double team. We got a pass off play action. Whole shot that looks like it is dropped. We will skip past that because I don't think Cross gets much to do here. As the game is winding down, we only got a couple plays left. We got a screen pass. Cross going to work all the way across. Dang, this is a chance. I keep telling my son this when he plays D-line, and I'm like, when the plays go away from you, sometimes you've got a great shot to have a absolute monster hit on a screen pass. He works through this trash really. I mean, first they're not even trying to block him because they're trying to set up the screen, but he's fighting through it. And then his own guy here, and then like right here, he's going for the kill shot. If 13 stays, on his path and the other defender wasn't there to clear him, 27, Cross would really had a shot to put his full body weight into the ball carrier, which you don't get too many chances to do as a defensive lineman. All right, we've got another sack here. Not much for Cross as he takes on the double team, but I do want to watch 99 over here. 99 looks got some length and athleticism to him. Right there, the other defensive tackle. As he goes outside, and we got a stunt, but he works his way back inside. He's got the captaincy on too. And good grab, and then pull down. Hey, it's an interesting player there. Someone to keep an eye on maybe for future years. 42-7. That game is over. Overall, a solid game for Howard Cross versus Stanford. PFF gave him a 71 for that, which is about what he scored for the entire season. So I felt that might be a representative game for that. But again, like I said, 2023, he graded super well for PFF. Doubled his pressures and only 20 more pass rush snaps. So, I mean, that's what you want to see, that the guy has had that ability. Looking over his numbers, really good tackler throughout his career. He's a solid run defender, but not a high impact run defender. A lot of that may be playing the nose tackle spot. 468 snaps in his career at the nose tackle spot, but 1,680 at the B gap. So we do get a lot of snaps of him playing outside of the guard. Having said that, his run stop rate really low. And when you get to that point of a 4.5 percentile run stop rate, usually those guys don't pan out. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe that was why he didn't get drafted, right? Look at him as an undersized guy who doesn't impact the run defense game too often. Is he a good enough athlete? Is he special enough as a 24-year-old to be an impact pass rusher or a rotational pass rusher? We'll have to see. I'm excited to watch him in preseason, though, because it's a guy that clearly is advanced, has a lot of experience under his belt, and looks like he can make an impact even as a rookie. So will he not just make the team? Because I have one of these guys, either Howard Cross or Eric Gregory, who we'll do next on the next episode, is likely to make the team. And maybe both get a practice squad spot at the very least. If the Bengals sign a veteran to be the fifth defensive tackle, I could see them keeping extra defensive ends with how their roster looks right now and going lighter at defensive tackle, especially with a couple of these guys able to kick inside like Shamar Stewart and Joseph Osai. So is that the direction they go? I like Cross. I like what he showed. I think he's got a potential to stick on a roster in the NFL. And if he can do any more than that, that would be a nice bonus as an undrafted player. Until next time on Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. Hooday.
Bengals fans, tired of the same old post-game chatter? Want real insight beyond the scoreboard? Then you need Bengals on the Brain with Joe Goodberry, presented by First Star Logistics. Joe Goodberry isn't just a fan, he's a die-hard Bengals football analyst. Every week, Joe dives deep into the Bengals game film, breaking down the plays that mattered, revealing hidden strategies, and uncovering the true impact of individual performances. Get ready for post-game analysis like you've never heard before, player evaluations that go beyond the stats, and the most in-depth Bengals draft coverage on the internet. Don't just watch the Bengals, understand the Bengals. Subscribe to Bengals on the Brain with Joe Goodberry on the First Star Media Group's YouTube channel. Get smart, get obsessed, get Bengals on the Brain.